Hey everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. We are looking at the original cheese box, the Wilson Certified Pasteurized Processed Cheese Box, which contains nothing but COMC pickups, and we're going to get through a rummage today. I really got to get some of these cards put away. Trying to clean up my office here and condense and organize. And how about a Larry Legend to start us off? I've shown a few of these Panini Prism red, white, and blue parallels from a few years back. I think pre-pandemic, and a great Larry Bird. This will go into my little basketball Z folio. Living here in New England, of course, he's one of the all-time greats in general, but highly regarded here in this region. Next up, we have a buyback. Adrian Beltre on this Allen and Ginter mini buyback. I've shown these a few times before as well. Trying to track down as many Hall of Famers as I can get, and Beltre is a Hall of Famer now. And just a great one there. I love these framed minis in particular. And this was available for cheap. It was like $2 or $3, and there just aren't a lot of those out there. Been scouring eBay and have had some saved searches set up for a while now, and there's not a big supply when it comes to star players, so I'm grateful to have that one. We're going to go back to vintage now, all the way back to the early 50s with a 1952 Bowman Al Corwin. Love that. Look at that New York Giants cap. And I mean, check out, let me take this out of the penny sleeve. This is kind of beat. But look at the colors on that card, even 70 some odd years later. I love the background, the clouds, the light pole here, the fence, all of it. I mean, I don't know the first thing about Al Corwin, I'll be honest, but just love 50s Bowman baseball cards. And if I see them cheap, or at least back in the day, if I saw them cheap, like $1 or $2, they were hard to resist. Next up, we have a Heritage Chrome Max Scherzer from 2017. This is not a refractor, just the normal chrome, but it still has that awesome background effect that you see on the chromium cards out of Heritage. Not much to say on this one. I love Scherzer. It's numbered to 999. Scherzer, Verlander, Kershaw. That's kind of like the triad, at least so far in my mind, of 21st century pitchers. Pitchers don't get a lot of love, so for the most part, been able to pick up some really nice cards of those guys without spending a lot of money. Here's another one that I've been focusing on recently, or seem to have been pulling a lot of recently. Did a whole episode on these, maybe a couple months back now. These Topps Retired Legends short print. So if we look at the back of this one, this is from 2018 Topps Update Series. You can see in the upper right, and this would be an alternate card US 21 featuring Sandy Koufax, and what an image, like signing for the fans. I love it. Just really cool. The candid photographs that Topps uses for this subset, or did, it's no longer being done, are just top notch and can't be beat. They remind me of like a Stadium Club type photo selection. Whoops, with apologies to Al Corwin there. We'll put Sandy up in the background. Mostly baseball so far. We're going to continue that trend. Here's a set that I am really excited to see the 2024 edition of, which should be dropping soon. I would think within the next month or two. Fingers crossed anyway. But this is a Topps Chrome Gilded collection. And this is from the first year of the release in 2022. Shows the flagship design, but it does have Retired Legends of the Past printed in very small quantities. This is from the first set, so there are only 185 copies of this Yaz across every parallel and the base cards. So this is the Gold Etch Mini Diamond, numbered to 50, and really pleased to see that one come out of the box. That's a sneaky good modern card, and myself and quite a few other collectors I know will be clamoring for those 2024s, I'm sure, when they drop here. We have a hockey card up next from Upper Deck Exclusives, and Ilya Kovalchuk. These are numbered to 100 every year. They go all the way back to the late 90s. And so I have plenty of these in the collection and in the cheese box, kind of waiting to be pulled and cataloged and added to my formal official collection. But I love Upper Deck Exclusives. I do think Kovalchuk could make the Hall of Fame in the future, so kind of bought that one preemptively. And we have two in a row here on the exclusives front. Braden Point, who you probably haven't heard of unless you're somewhat of a hockey fan at a little bit of a deeper level. He's not a Wayne Gretzky, Connor McDavid type name recognition player, but he's had a sneaky, quietly good start to his career, winning championships and putting up solid seasons with the Lightning. And this was like $2 or something. I think it's a very early career Braden Point exclusive. So just every once in a while, I would kind of comb the site for any discounted exclusives cards of stars and vacuum them up. Here's the great one. The aforementioned Wayne Gretzky hoisting Lord Stanley's Cup on this gloriously shiny late 90s card. This is one of the many cards that Upper Deck produced around when Wayne retired at the end of the 20th century. Bought it because it was cheap, and I do have a Wayne Gretzky Z Folio that I've been working on for maybe a year now on my bookshelf off camera here to the left. So this will be a nice addition to that Gretzky album. Let's do an oversized card next. These are almost all vintage baseball, and that is the case here with Billy Gardner, infielder for the New York Giants. We started off with a New York Giants card from the 50s, or a couple cards in anyway, and we have another one here to match that 52 Bowman, Billy Gardner. Card number 27 in the set, and this one is in really good shape, like better condition, I would say, than a lot of the other 55s that I picked up for just $1 or $2 off the site. So as happens often in these COMC rummages, I am now, another card closer to, teasing with or toying with completing the 55 top set. Still need that Willie Mays, also need the Harmon Killebrew. So I don't know, it's just not high on my list, but I do have decent number of them now. Here's one that I just picked up with my football Z Folio in mind. This is a 2011 Topps Champ Bailey. And I believe he's a Hall of Famer. My football knowledge is kind of like borderline embarrassing, but I really enjoy that this is the same design as the baseball set in 2011. This is back when Topps was licensed to do both sports, so I really dig that. And I always love the gold parallels numbered to the year of release, 2011 in this case. And this was like 50 cents or something, and it's just going to go into my football card Z Folio. I have a very small collection of both football and basketball, so I have a single Z Folio of each, which are nowhere near full. That'll be a nice addition to that. Here's a random hockey one, and I've shown some of these before. This is Marty Broder of the Devils, but you wouldn't know it looking at the front. It's one of these Warriors of Ice cards. So they took star players from the NHL and did them up in kind of a comic book format. Some of them work better than others. This is not one of my favorites, but it's like a 5-card subset, or insert set, I should say, and maybe 6 cards, and I wanted to complete it. They cost, 25 cents or something like that. Probably not a card I would buy these days, but I picked this one up at least a couple of years ago, maybe longer. All right, let's keep cruising along here, and this is one I bet you haven't seen before, so let me get this one out of the sleeve. This is a buyback of Mr. T from the A-Teams. This is from the 1983 Topps A-Team set. It's the Mr. T card, but it's a buyback version from Topps American Pie. So this is the original 83 card, the No Way card, and then this was bought back, stamped, and issued, I forget the date. I want to say maybe 2011, 2013, say between 10 and 15 years ago, pack issued again by Topps. So obviously I have an extensive buyback collection. So when I ran across this, and it was cheap, I think it was like $3 or something like that, and the opportunity to add a Mr. T buyback to my collection was too good to pass up. I used to watch that show when I was a young lad in the 80s. Loved the A-Team. I had the little version of their van that I would always perform stunts with in my living room, and just really dug that show. So Mr. T buyback is probably not something you expected that you would see on today's video. And then we're going to close out with this one, vintage baseball again, back to the 50s. This is one of those 1953 Mother's Cookies PCL, Pacific Coast League cards. And it looks like Dick Smith here of the LA Angels. Now, I'm fascinated with these because I know very little about the history of the PCL and the players involved. Got into this set because there are a couple former Negro League players on the checklist, and I've already tracked 1 or 2 of those down. but the cards are so beautiful that I have picked up one or two others over time. So this is, again, just a kind of a research opportunity for me. I don't really know anything about Dick Smith, but I'm certainly going to research both he and the LA Angels in the PCL, as a result of having this card in my collection. This was obtained cheaply because, see if I can get it in the light here. It does have a crease in the lower right, and you can even see it on the front here. But really, honestly, in most lights, it looks perfectly fine. And this card cost, I think, between $1 and $1.50. So just kind of something neat for now to occupy a little bit of my time and hobby energy doing some research. And that's going to be a wrap on today's Rummage. So we really ran the gamut from all the way back in the early 50s with baseball, right up to modern day shine, and some complete randomness as well. So really appreciate you tuning in. I'll be back soon with some more content. In the meantime, I hope you all enjoy the hobby. Take care.